Hey, what up, everybody? Stevie Breach, live at the Best Buy. And for anybody who asks, I really am live at the Best Buy when I make these videos every day. It is DVD Tuesday. Today is the release of the Attitude Era set. The much controversial, when you buy it and you pick it up at the store, it has a huge sticker on it to let you kiddies know that this is not for you. This is old school wrestling right here. Somebody's messing with their alarm. But I mean, there is honestly everybody on this cover. I was looking at this as I was waiting to cash out at the check stand, and I can't think of anybody that is left off. I was honestly really surprised to see Al Snow on there on GTV. Got me to mark out a little bit. As big as a disappointment as that was in wrestling history, I'm sort of surprised they even got a mini Gilbert right there for you. They got Tyson on here. Mark Merrow makes an appearance. Shane McMahon's in the corner. Mankind's way at the top in the left-hand corner. There's the man Gangrel himself. I know that probably got our boy Bobby to buy it all on his own. Val Venus stretching out. Jeff Hardy's on the cover. So you got a few TNA guys on here. Even what used to be the Big Show right there for you. I don't know what happened to that guy, but it's hard to, when I watch old school Big Show matches, it's hard to realize that's the same guy. I think maybe that guy died and they got another guy to replace him or something like that, much like the Warrior. But this is it right here for you. The Attitude set comes with some pullouts here for you for the new encyclopedia. The Christmas book by Mick Foley. You got one for the official Superstore. Flip it over. It comes with a $5 off of $25. DVD 525 is the code you're going to use. If you're watching this today, live, Tuesday, they have 3 DVDs on Black Friday special. I believe it is the Mania of Mania, the John Cena Experience, and the Stone Cold Steve Austin DVD. If you don't have those, $5.99 today. Those are the sets right there, much like a little Val Venus discharge, I must say, is the way Attitude is put out there. They actually made a t-shirt for Val Venus with this sort of gooey writing when you were supposed to sort of guess what that was. But what I've heard is this is going to have about 8 hours of footage on the Blu-ray with the extras. 1 hour documentary on here for you. And this thing has everything. I mean, it's hard to even pick out what's the best of the best on here for you, but looks like this is footage is going to start in '97 and roll into the 2000s. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm hoping that the documentary gives us a true, honest answer to when the Attitude Era actually ends. It's one thing that's really, really debated about when it ended and a new one rolled over, but you go out and you pick out the Blu-ray exclusives. You're going to get some extras. Ken Shamrock versus Triple H versus Owen Hart from Monday Night Raw. Insane Clown Posse. Oh, that's the Oddities against the Headbangers. The Truth About Sammy. The Unholy Union of Stephanie McMahon and The Undertaker, where she gets put up on the cross. We have The Rock versus Val Venus. We got a whole bunch of people in an Elimination Chambers match from Survivor Series, but it's on SmackDown, so I'm not sure what that is. Hardcore Championship, Big Show against Crash Holly. And we have the Hardy Boys and Lita against Perry Saturn, Eddie Guerrero, and Dean Malenko. And then we got Chris Jericho and the Dudleys versus Kurt Angle, Christian, and Edge. Can't go wrong with that. Some TLC match action going on there for you. This is going to be packed full of action. More than likely not going to be able to get all through this tonight when we get home. I know we're doing a live viewing on Skype. I'm jazzed for that, so hoping everybody is able to get out and head over there to it. There's McMahon's Corvette getting loaded up with cement. They take that to Access every couple of years, so you're able to check it out. I've heard that they actually park it in the Titan Towers parking lot, the parking garage. It's parked in there so people can see it when they go there. Well, not me and you, but wrestlers and everything like that. But this is the Attitude Era set. Hopefully you guys can go out and pick it up. Look at that large gold dust. Kind of surprised how big they would make him. And that's all I can really think of. You know, I'm a man of the people. I'll give you anything you need. If you want my last chicken strip, you can have it. Because I probably am not going to eat it before I make my way over to sell some turkey. But hey, see you later, Stone Cold. See you later, Rock. Triple H, you're the freaking man. I can't wait to get my Attitude Era on tonight. Peace out, guys. Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with a DVD Blu-ray review of none other than the Attitude Era. I was finally able to watch a documentary on this last night after being awoken by many Facebook jumps and I couldn't go back to sleep. I felt like after sleeping for 2 hours, I'd slept for 10. I think everybody has weird nights like that for you, but I was able to watch the documentary. Weird, when I first picked this up, I believe it was a few weeks ago, on its release day, I watched all the matches in 2 days, but I'd never popped in the documentary. And I don't know. I definitely would say that this is a must buy. But I will say that more than likely this is the documentary that I will never watch. When I do the DVD reviews on the multi-disc sets with documentaries, mostly I'm going to do a review just on the documentary. The matches, to me, are always, I'm going to buy this for the documentary, and the matches that get thrown on there for free. Every match that's on here is on here for a reason. You get to see a lot of D'Lo Brown, a lot of Stone Cold Steve Austin. It has almost every big moment I can think of, it's in there. The Attitude Era documentary mainly starts with them defining what was the Attitude Era. Well, it mainly sort of starts about, the McMahon's, they bring up the steroid allegations trial that they went through. They even bring up the fact that, WWE was cleared of all charges, but they were cleared through the mud, and that was sort of the downfall of what happened. And they went through the ringer for a couple of years of some bad times, and mainly it was the Attitude Era that really kicked them off. And they say that the Attitude Era really started was the day Vince McMahon kicked off Monday Night Raw with sort of a scripted backstage promo, just saying the days of superheroes saying drink your milk and take your vitamins was passe, and that they were moving on in a new direction, and that was the direction that Shawn Michaels and Triple H thought up, and sort of pointing them along the way. In my opinion, the Attitude Era started long before that. Not long before that, but if I was to put anybody in the driver's seat of the Attitude Era, I'm not going to say that it exactly started that day. It is the day that Bret Hart was screwed out of the title in a steel cage match on Monday Night Raw. He basically started a promo cussing everybody out, and that was basically language we had never heard on Monday Night Raw before, which was a PG show, much like it was today. Maybe some angles went through that might not go through today, but there's a lot of times you're watching TV stuff, or the TV today, and you're like, hey, that's not PG, you can't be doing that. So they were able to sneak things in the same way that we do now. That to me, that's sort of, I guess you could say it was scripted. I believe it was I think he was drinking at 88 when he met him before WrestleMania 26. Asked him about that promo, and just said that Vince came to him and said to say, whatever he wanted to say, not to worry about the censors, and they would take care of it. And they were mainly looking to cause a stir up. Maybe we would get some publicity for WrestleMania, this, that, or the other. The main thing that they like to really hype up is what the Attitude Era was the Austin McMahon rivalry, was very, very good. If you go back and look through that, there was some clips in there that I honestly had sort of forgotten about. One was dealing with Undertaker, in him sort of the pursuit of Stephanie McMahon. One night they went to the McMahon's house to try and capture Stephanie from there. They lit an Undertaker symbol on fire in his nice way better neighborhood than I will ever live in. And I remember when that show went off the air that night, I honestly was scared of the well-being of Stephanie. I was population 1, town's name Marksville is where I was. And from there on, they go to talk about the Hell in the Cell, where Mick Foley puts over saying that his moment is what moment WCW said, all right, pack up the bags, we're all done. That was a quote that he received from none other than Kevin Sullivan. It was the head of the booking team at that time. But the Hell in the Cell between Undertaker and Mankind. We also saw lots of love for the Christian, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys, talking about TLC. During that, they don't mention the Dudley Boys that much, but Road Dogg, make sure he gets their name in there for you. JBL takes credit for creating the Brawl for All, but says that Vince Russo was the one that really put the love on it, that sort of did it. Bradshaw just wanted something to do that was a little bit against what wrestling was, and added the boxing thing to it. Road Dogg puts over the Attitude Era's change of putting the Titantron up and then making creative entrances for everybody. They put over "Oh You Didn't Know," "Hello Ladies" by Val Venus. Almost every wrestler back then had their own. And what Road Dogg has said is something that DDP has said before, that one of the main things for wrestling, well, just to break it down for DDP. DDP says there's 3 things involved in wrestling that matter more than anything than the stuff in the ring: your entrance, your promo, and your finisher. And that's why when DDP goes out, if you can remember, he does the same thing when he goes out on Indies. But when he did the Raw 1000 thing, he did his intro, then he hit his finisher on Heath Slater, and then just basically pop for the crowd, and then that was it. If you look back, the ring work from the Attitude Era I think is put over better than it is. I think a lot of the wrestlers are not as good as wrestlers as the wrestlers today, but I think that people remember the pops for the entrances, and that how they involved the everybody with a chant to get you going, and that got you going into the match, and that's what carried over to the end of the match, because Attitude Era matches, mostly mid-card matches, were very, very short that you really didn't care about. So I think a lot of the stuff that people put over more than anything is the entrances, which is very, very important. A lot of wrestlers make appearances in here talking about what was there. It's a normal cast of characters. You get your couple Stone Cold shots. Ron Simmons is in it a lot. Christian puts over a lot of stuff, including the Brood. Mick Foley's interviewed. Vince Russo's interviewed. I'm very, very surprised that they wouldn't go out and try and get interview clips from The Rock. I didn't see anything from Chris Jericho on there, if I remember right. I would have liked to see a few of the mid-card guys, like Steve Blackman. He's not doing anything. Kurt Angle, maybe not video clips because he's a TNA guy, but they only mentioned his name one time, and I believe it was Christian who talks about him. There's stuff in the vault they could have used. I'm not sure this is 100% new stuff, but Shawn Michaels was the one guy that really, really surprised me that wasn't interviewed for this. One of the main guys, they put over DX. They put over DX almost like it was a main event faction that was out there. DX, once Shawn Michaels left, and they came back and not reunited, but I guess regrouped with Triple H, X-Pac, and the New Age Outlaws. That night after WrestleMania, when they had the match against Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack inside the steel cage to get their revenge. That was the main event, and they regrouped up. They made them seem like they were the main deal. To me, they might have had an impact, people wanting to see them, but they honestly weren't more than anything that was on the mid card. You never really thought of Triple H challenging for the title until DX broke up way later on down the road, and he finally won it at SummerSlam '99. And then DX, regrouped up after he started the McMahon-Helmsley era. The day that they really said the Attitude Era died on the documentary is the day that WCW closed. I really don't think that's the day that it died. They kept on doing the same stuff that they were doing for a long time. I honestly can't remember when the Trish Stratus barking like a dog thing and stripping down from Vince McMahon thing was, but that was the main thing for me that maybe sort of crossed the line. Mick Foley always says that that during there they did a lot of things that him as a father sort of shook him a little bit. Maybe he said a lot of things Val Venus said, like I came, I saw, and I came again. This documentary is very good. I don't want to give it a very bad review. I'm just saying that it's more than likely a documentary that I will be watching the matches on again, but I won't be watching the documentary again. It just wasn't anything that really, really hit home to me. One good thing was they didn't put a lot of the guys of today on there, like Santino Marella or Kofi Kingston, putting everything over along the way. But really, really weird. They touched on almost everything. It was more of a feel-good thing than more of a documentary. I would like them to go in and dig deeper into things and sort of break things down like they do on a lot of other documentaries. But there it is for you. WWE Attitude Era, WWE Attitude Era, Blu-ray, DVD. You can pick it up almost anywhere. It's been out for about a month. I'm sure if you check WWE Shop every day along the way, they'll put this bargain price any day now to make sure everybody picks one up. But this is Stevie Breach. I appreciate you checking it out. Have fun, y'all.